Imagine waking up every morning knowing that the richest man in the world starts his day differently than almost everyone else. Not by rushing to meetings, not by scrolling through emails, but by doing something most of us take for granted: sleeping. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, the man who built an empire that redefined how the world shops, attributes a surprising amount of his success not to hustle, not to sleepless nights, but to something as simple and powerful as getting 8 full hours of rest. It sounds almost too ordinary for a billionaire's secret, but that's exactly what makes it extraordinary. Because in a world obsessed with grinding harder, sleeping less, and constantly chasing the next goal, Bezos did the opposite and won. Bezos has always been open about his sleep habits. He insists on going to bed early and waking up naturally without an alarm clock. For him, it's not about maximizing hours awake. It's about maximizing clarity and quality during the hours that matter most. "I like to putter in the morning," he once said. No rushed calls, no instant decisions. He takes time for breakfast, for thinking, and for spending time with his family before diving into Amazon's high-stakes world. That slow, deliberate start, powered by enough rest, sets the tone for how he runs everything. He's not reacting, he's directing. When Bezos talks about decision-making, he often draws a direct line between good sleep and good judgment. He says he only makes 3 important decisions each day, just 3, and he makes them when his energy and focus are at their peak after he's well rested. Think about that. The man responsible for billions of dollars in revenue, hundreds of thousands of employees, and a company that reshaped the global economy believes that quality sleep leads to quality decisions. The logic is simple. If you're tired, your brain is slow, your reactions are emotional, and your vision narrows. When you're rested, your thinking expands. You see possibilities, not just problems. It's easy to imagine Bezos pulling all-nighters in Amazon's early days, surrounded by boxes and computer cables, running on caffeine and ambition. And yes, in the beginning he worked insanely hard. But as Amazon grew, Bezos realized something profound. You can't sustain brilliance without rest. Fatigue kills creativity. It dulls intuition. It makes even geniuses average. That's why he began treating sleep like a business strategy, not a personal luxury. His logic is cold and precise. If a tired executive makes a poor decision that costs the company millions, the few extra hours they spent working weren't a gain. They were a massive loss. Science backs him up. Researchers from Harvard and Stanford have shown that decision-making ability plummets when people are sleep-deprived. One bad night can lower focus and reaction time as much as having a blood alcohol level of 0.08. And yet, in corporate America, sleep deprivation is often worn as a badge of honor. Bezos refused to play that game. He turned sleep into a competitive advantage. It's not just about recharging, it's about optimizing performance. He doesn't want to be the hardest worker in the room. He wants to be the smartest, the clearest thinker, the one who sees what others miss because their minds are fogged by exhaustion. Every morning when he wakes up without an alarm, he's in control. That moment, before the meetings, before the decisions, is his most powerful time. He calls it high IQ time. His brain is fresh, his emotions steady, his focus sharp. He spends that mental energy carefully, knowing it's finite. It's almost like managing a battery. You don't drain it on low-value tasks. That's why he avoids morning meetings and fills his early hours with creative thinking, not logistics. He knows his mind's value curve better than anyone. That's not laziness. It's mastery. What's fascinating is that Bezos' sleep philosophy is part of a bigger mindset, long-term thinking. Amazon's success has always been built on patience, on playing the long game, on ignoring short-term noise. Sleep is a micro version of that philosophy. You rest today to perform tomorrow. You don't chase one more late-night task that burns you out. You prepare for decades of consistent energy. Bezos once said that if he feels stressed, it's a sign that he hasn't been thinking long-term enough. That calm, future-focused mindset is impossible if your brain is running on fumes. Sleep, in that sense, is a quiet declaration of confidence. It says, I can pause now because I'm building something that lasts. Even the structure of Amazon reflects this rhythm. It's a company that prizes efficiency and precision over chaos. Bezos' leadership style mirrors his personal habits, deliberate, analytical, and rooted in sustainability. He encourages employees to take time to think deeply, to avoid reactive decisions. That culture began with his own morning routine, unhurried, rested, intentional. He's teaching by example that rest is not weakness. It's a foundation for greatness. There's also an emotional dimension. Sleep affects how you treat people. Bezos has said that being well-rested helps him stay patient and kind, even in high-pressure situations. It's hard to be visionary if you're irritable or drained. Many leaders collapse under stress, not because they lack skill, but because they lack rest. Bezos recognized early that his emotional intelligence, his ability to lead and inspire, depended on how he managed his own energy. He treats his mind and body like the most valuable assets in the world, because for a man leading Amazon, they are. Imagine the ripple effect of one night's sleep on the world's biggest e-commerce platform. A clear-headed Bezos might decide to delay a risky project, saving billions. A tired one might greenlight something reckless. The stakes are enormous. That's why his 8-hour rule isn't a personal quirk. It's part of Amazon's DNA. When the person at the top values rest, it cascades down. It challenges the toxic myth that you have to sacrifice health to achieve greatness. Of course, Bezos' sleep schedule isn't perfect or leisurely. He's known for early bedtimes and disciplined routines. He guards his time like it's sacred. Friends and colleagues say he's fiercely protective of his mornings because that's when his mind is sharpest. He eats breakfast with his family, sometimes cooks eggs himself, and avoids scheduling any major meetings before 10 a.m. That might sound simple, but for a man who could fill every minute with business demands, it's radical discipline. He's proving that even at the highest level of success, simplicity and structure matter. Now think about what this means for anyone chasing their own dream. Sleep is free, yet most people treat it like a luxury they can't afford. They'll spend thousands on courses, tools, or motivation videos, but ignore the one habit that makes all of those more effective. Bezos didn't just build Amazon with technology and vision. He built it with energy. Every late-night coder, every strategic decision, every bold risk was powered by a leader who knew how to preserve his mental edge. You can't innovate if you're burned out. You can't see the future if you're too tired to look up from your screen. There's also a poetic balance in Bezos' life philosophy. He works intensely, but not endlessly. He chases progress, not perfection. He seeks growth that compounds, like interest, and he knows that compounding requires patience and rest. The same way Amazon reinvests profits for future growth, Bezos reinvests his time in sleep to ensure his mind keeps compounding wisdom and insight. It's the same formula applied inward. In recent years, as Bezos shifted from CEO to executive chairman, his focus on energy became even clearer. He started Blue Origin, his space company, with a motto that perfectly sums up his mindset. Gradatim ferociter, step by step, ferociously. That's not about sprinting, it's about sustained excellence. The word gradatim implies pace, rhythm, and persistence, and none of that is possible without proper rest. You can't move ferociously step by step if you collapse halfway. Sleep, again, is the rhythm that makes ferocity sustainable. Some critics say sleep is for the weak, but Bezos flips that completely. He believes that the truly strong are the ones who can step away, reset, and come back sharper. His life is proof that rest isn't retreat, it's a weapon. Every night when he shuts off the lights, he's not wasting time. He's reloading. In the quiet of those 8 hours, his mind is cleaning, sorting, repairing, preparing to see patterns others can't see. It's also worth noting that Bezos' success is not a story of perfection, but of awareness. He knows his limits. He doesn't push beyond the point of diminishing returns. That self-awareness, the ability to pause when the world tells you to push, is what separates the wise from the merely ambitious. Anyone can grind. Few can rest with purpose. So, what can you take from Bezos' sleep strategy? It's not about copying his exact routine. It's about understanding the principle. You perform at your best when your mind and body are fully charged. That's true whether you're running a startup, studying for exams, or raising a family. Sleep isn't just recovery, it's preparation. Every great decision, every moment of creativity, every flash of insight starts in the unseen hours of rest. As the world keeps glorifying the 4 a.m. wake-up club, remember the billionaire who said no to exhaustion and yes to clarity. While others burn out chasing more hours, Bezos quietly proves that success belongs to those who use their hours wisely. Maybe the true secret to Amazon's success isn't hidden in its algorithms or warehouses, but in something much simpler: the quiet power of sleep. So the next time you feel guilty for resting, remember this: the man who built one of the greatest empires in human history did it not by sacrificing his nights, but by protecting them. Because in the end, sleep doesn't make you lazy, it makes you limitless.